Hey guys, I'm coming to you from my living room floor tonight. Um, it's been an amazing day, actually. I think I've gotten more done today than I have in a really long time. And I've had a lot of different conversations with a lot of different people about a lot of different things all around the world. And one of the things that's been really fun for me is I've gotten a really amazing chance today for whatever reason, I don't know what really brought this on, but I've had an amazing chance today to just contribute to people asking for support, contributions, questions, facilitation, whatever. Hey, Eleanor. And it's just been this really amazing day of creating and just like following the energy of like, oh, now there's this person in my world, and now there's this person, and now I'm talking to this person, and now I'm reaching out to this person, and now and it's been such a gift. I was just thinking about, I actually feel I'm just like all by myself right now and hanging out and quiet house and just feeling so grateful, so incredibly grateful to get to have so many incredible people in my life all over the world and to get to contribute to people. And literally today, I don't know, it's like probably 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Since like 8 o'clock this morning, I've been having these incredible conversations of possibility and change and contribution and questions and like what else is possible. And it's really rocked my own world that I get to have a life where I get to have days and weeks and months and years in a life where I get to be in this conversation of what else? What else we can create? What else can we be? What if nothing is impossible? What if everything is possible? Like, just wow, the magic that we be when we choose to be it, when we step into it, when we really allow ourselves to be it. It's phenomenal. And some of you know I've been having lots of money conversations lately. And I've been looking at this energy of a lot of people that I see that actually, hey, George. I know. I was laying on my living room floor and I wanted to make you guys a video. So I thought I wouldn't sit up because I didn't feel like it. Um, yeah, a lot of people that like when they go into this stuff around money or just creating whatever, there is this thing in this world where people go into like the kingdom of me, right? It's like not me, but like the kingdom of themselves, where it's like, well, in order for me to make money, then I have to make it all about me, or in order for me to have this thing that I'd like to have, like I really have to have it and make it happen. But money is one of those big areas where it shows up, where it's just like, I want to make money, then like I have to like not contribute to other people, or like be stingy with my time, or be stingy with my money, or like not be generous. Really, it's just about not being generous. And it's not a hey Deborah. It's not a judgeable thing. Like I'm not in judgment of that, but it's an interesting observation that I've been making lately, that the people that I know that really, really create a lot, that create a lot in their lives, that create a lot of money, that have a lot of money, that just like have even a lot of joy, there's an incredible generosity in their world, a generosity of spirit, a sense of the kingdom of we that goes so far beyond like dollar signs or, dollar amounts or, hi, Lana. It goes beyond the linear mind and it goes into the space of what is going to create the most. This is actually one of my favorite questions, and I ask it a lot, every day, like many times a day. What's going to create the most when I look at, how I spend my time or what I'm going to do with my day? It's like, what's going to create the most? And today was actually, come to think of it, really a day where it was really about that. It was like, I only had one thing that was like on the books. I didn't have my kids. So these days are really awesome for me because I just get a lot of space to like follow the energy. And it really just was this like, what's going to create the most now? What's going to create the most now? What's going to create the most now? And I'm willing to let myself be pretty ADD about how I create and be like, oh, this thing's popping. I was in the middle of that, but I'll go do this. Like right now I'm in the middle of like 5 things at least, or 10 or something. I don't know, a lot of different things. Like I'm in the middle of making a flight. I'm in the middle of writing an email. I'm in the middle of a conversation with somebody. I'm making a video. And so, but I just keep following the energy based on what's going to create the most. And I wasn't going to make a video tonight, but I laid down and I was laying here and I was like, ooh, this feels like a fun conversation to have. And the thing that's so fascinating to me about this is that when people want to create more, and, especially if that involves money or business or whatever, they really think they have to go to this place of like preserving themselves and fighting for themselves and like doing whatever it's going to take for them to have more of something. And there's this linear construct in this reality that says that there's a limitation, like that there's a certain amount of money available or a certain amount of whatever clients available or a certain amount of people that would take classes, and you have to get the most of that money, those people, those clients, those classes, whatever. And that's just about business and money, but like this sense of like I have to get the most of whatever it is that I'm asking for. And then the linear thinking from the logical mind of like, well, and then I have to make it about me so that I can get that, right? And what I love about the tools of Access Consciousness, and I'm actually really just this idea of the kingdom of we, is that it's actually, and everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. When you're functioning from what's going to create the most, like that really includes everybody, everything, including you. A lot of people think the kingdom of we doesn't have anything to do with them, which is the opposite of being, of what I've been talking about, which is just like I have to give and give and give and give and give until there's nothing left, But when you start to go, what is going to create the most here in this moment for the world? And the world includes you in a big way, in a big way, in a bigger way than most people really let themselves believe. When you go to that question, there's a whole lot of magic that shows up. And there's a whole lot of abundance that shows up because all of a sudden, when you include everybody else, when you include the world, the planet, other people's businesses, other people's, what they're asking for or their joy or animals and trees and, like the whole universe. Like when you include all of that in your choices for what is, Elizabeth, yes, here I am, Miss Facebook Live. Nice to see you, honey. Um, when you include the kingdom of we, when you include this question, you start to be the question, what's going to create the most, not just for you, but for everybody and everything. Guess what? You are allowing the whole world and the whole universe in. And guess what you get to receive from if you allow the whole world and the whole universe in. That's right. The whole world and the whole universe. And again, it's not a linear thing. It's an energetic space of being that acknowledges that you are, hi Svetlana, that acknowledges that you are part of oneness, like you are part of everything. You are so connected to everyone and everything, to the planet, to the universe, to other people. And anything that you're asking to create actually is too. If you're asking for more money, um, it's not a solo deal. It's really not a solo endeavor. Growing your business, even if your business is just, you're like if you're a sole proprietor or you're whatever, like it's just your business. It it actually has so much more. It includes so many more people and things and possibilities than just you. And the contraction into the linearity of this reality that tells you that you need to fend for yourself, fight for yourself, make it happen for you, like focus on your money or, like keep all the money or keep all the whatever, you know, the possibility or whatever, for you, because you might run out or the world might run out, is actually one of the greatest ways that you diminish what you create, what you receive, including money, and who you're being. You have to make yourself so tiny to believe that you are alone in this world. You have to make yourself so fucking small to believe that you're alone and that you're on your own. You actually can't, you couldn't be alone and on your own if you tried. I'm sorry to break the news to you. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Hi, Chrissy. You can't be alone and on your own if you tried. Now, your point of view creates your reality. So, if you have the point of view that you're alone and on your own, guess what? Guess what's going to show up as your world? Exactly that. If you have the point of view that money is limited, that there's a limited and very small supply of money available in the world, and that you have to fight for it, and you have to not contribute to other people so that you can have it, guess what? That will be the reality that shows up for you. If you have the point of view that you don't have enough time to contribute to other people, chitty chitty bang bang. That's funny, Randy. Yeah. If you have the point of view, like whatever point of view you have actually is what creates your world. There's a whole science to this actually. You can look at like perception psychology. That's something that I kind of studied a little bit of when I was in college, and it really just starts to show you like the way you look at the world, like sort of like there's different, you might come from a different culture or you might, have different beliefs or whatever. And all of that influences the way that your life actually shows up. And so what I think is so freaking fascinating about that is that you can change your point of view and your whole reality will change. If you're willing to be that potent and magical, you can change your point of view and your entire world will change. If you start to look at the world differently, the world will change because there's, seven, whatever, however many people there are on the planet, 7 billion, different realities on planet Earth. And it just depends on who you are and how you're looking at things and the points of view that you're looking at things from and the thoughts that you have and the emotions and the history and all that stuff. Like, it all plays into how you see the world, and how you see the world determines how it shows up. So if you do have the point of view that you have to fight for money, that there's a limited supply, of whether it's money or joy or happiness or awesome people in the world that you get to play with, if you have the belief that there's a limited supply, there will be. You are actually that powerful. Hi, Jocelyn. If you have the point of view that there's an abundance of all of those things, of money and cool people and amazing possibilities and choices, and that's what your reality will begin to be. If you have the point of view that the creation of more in your life starts to really grow and expand and exponentialize when you include other people, it will. You don't have to limit you or what you give to the world or what you be in the world. Like, what if there is an unlimited supply of you? Like an unlimited energy that you be. The past few nights I've been staying up until 3 a.m. and getting up at 8, and I am not tired. I am like on fire right now. And it's been so fun for me. And I've had these moments, Svetlana, I love that question. Yes, I will answer that in a second. I've had these moments of where during the day I'm like, oh, I've only gotten like 10 hours of sleep in the past 2 nights or something. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. I'm not tired because I don't have the point of view that I should be. And that's just one tiny little example. And the thing is that like one of the things that you may not have been watching this from the beginning, but what I was talking about in the beginning was just really getting to contribute to a lot of people today, in some really cool and really different ways. And just from like making myself available, people asking me questions or whatever, and really making myself available to contribute, and without any agenda, or just like, yeah, I actually can be here for you. I'm happy to answer questions or ask you questions, or and it has increased my joy and my energy and my the sense of peace in my world and the sense of abundance in my world so dynamically. And more than like, really, there's an abundance, that energy to me, that kingdom of we, that like, what can I contribute to the world today? What can I be in the world that will change the world? What contribution can I be, and what is going to create the most? Which Svetlana is asking, is there a pragmatic tool to use that will create more communion with the kingdom of we? I think you might have jumped on recently, I don't know. But that's one of the things I was talking about in the beginning of the video, is asking the question, what's going to create the most? The most includes everything, including you. It's not the most for you. It's not the most for other people or the most for the planet, or it's actually the most. And when you ask that question from the point of view that the most means an increasing of your life and your joy and your happiness and your abundance and all of that, that is also an increasing of the joy and the happiness and the possibility in the world, then that is what will start to show up. And you will find that you have an abundance of possibility and choice in your life that you may have never perceived before. So, pragmatic tool, what's going to create the most? And to have more communion with the kingdom of we, I mean, well, one of the 10 keys to freedom and access consciousness is the question, would an infinite being truly choose this? I love that question. It's such a great tool. Would an infinite being truly choose to not be total communion with everybody and everything? Would an infinite being choose to be stingy or greedy? Or, and I'm not saying those words with judgment, but it's like, it's it's good to be able to look at that and go, gosh, is there anywhere that I'm being stingy in my life or greedy or selfish or like having the point of view that I have to hoard things or not share with other people or not contribute to other people? Because if you're willing to look at it without judgment, then you can change whatever that might be for you. So would an infinite being truly choose this? Would an infinite being, and what would an infinite being choose? If you were being the infinite being that you be, what would you actually choose? So like right now it's nighttime in the US, where I am. It's probably, I don't know, 11 o'clock or so in Denver. But I invite you, if it is nighttime where you are, like when you get up in the morning tomorrow, or maybe it's morning where you are, I know in Europe, it's morning. What if you spent the day today or tomorrow or wherever you are in the world? What if you just took a day and you went and you woke up in the morning and you just said, what is going to create the most today? What can I be? What can I do? What can I contribute that's going to create the most today? And what if you asked that question all day long and you just kept following the energy of what that is? And you might just have like, oh, now there's this awareness and now there's this awareness. It's so not a linear thing. It's not like, oh, what's going to create the most today? And then I'm going to answer that question and I'm going to lock it in as a conclusion. And then that's what I'm going to go do, right? No, this is a question that you can ask and really be all day long. What's going to create the most now? What can I create now? What can I accomplish now that's going to create the most? That's going to expand consciousness. That's going to create more joy on the planet. That's going to create more beauty. Like whatever it is that you'd like to see more of. What can you be? What can you do? What can you choose? What can you create that's going to create that in the world? And if you are willing to acknowledge that every single molecule that you interact with, every choice that you make, everything that you do contributes to more showing up on planet Earth, if you're willing to acknowledge the integral and essential piece of the equation of oneness, which is kind of even funny language, right? Because you're not a piece and there's no equation. There really aren't words to talk about this, but like you are an essential element. That's a better word, to consciousness. You actually are an essential element. You know things that nobody else knows. You have choices available to you that nobody else has available to them. You are an essential element to consciousness and to the kingdom of we, to oneness, to communion, to the planet, which for me, that it really does like really always boil down to that. It's like the more joy and ease and peace and abundance and creation we have, the happier the planet is, for sure. The more you're willing to really just go, hey, you know, like what if I just was able to drop all of my judgments about what I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be, and just show up as like, hey, what can I contribute today to this whole grand and glorious adventure of life and living? you will see that what you create starts to explode. And I don't actually hope I love it. Thank you, honey. This is so I'm getting now I'm telling you my secret. I don't actually have any secrets. I'm telling you my secret. Hi, Rocio. Um, which is it's not just my secret, and like I said, it's not a secret, but anything you want to expand in your world, in your business, your money flows, maybe have more joy with your body or in a relationship or whatever. If you choose to function from that space of the kingdom of we, communion, of what's going to create the most, you will see your life take off. You will see your business take off. You will see your money flows explode. You will see your relationships get better and better and better and better and better and better. Your body will be happier. You will be happier. You will create more. So if you want the fast track, that's the fast track. However, you have to be willing to choose it. And most people aren't willing to let go of their tenacious holding on to the limitations that they believe are so real in order to even dip their little toe into a different possibility of oneness and communion and the kingdom of we actually being the source for the creation of everything. So it's kind of easy, I hate to say, and requires incredible courage. Incredible courage. Jocelyn, thank you. That's so sweet. I'm very grateful for you. Thank you for tapping in and playing. You are very welcome. Yeah, it's quite easy, peeps. What if you just let go of all of those stories of what you actually have to be, and all of those stories of how you have to fend for yourself and fight for yourself and make sure that you get enough and make sure that there is enough. And what if you even spent a half a day in the adventure of contribution that includes you, not contribution that is what we think it is, which is a destruction of you so that you can prove that you're a good person by helping other people. That's not what I'm talking about. The kingdom of we includes you. And when you get that the kingdom of we includes you and everybody and everything, and your choices are a reflection of that, and your choices are an inclusion of that, it's game on. It's game on. So, thank you. You know, it's funny. I really actually do these Facebook Live videos for me, really. I mean, I guess I do them for the kingdom of we. And it's like tonight I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in this conversation, but I feel like having it. So I'm going to have it. And I am so willing to get on this baby and just talk to myself. I really am. And hope that one person might see it. And actually, like, I love this question that came out of the Maestro class 2 Maestro classes ago, which really like changed the whole thing. In Access Consciousness, there's a class called the Maestro class, which is amazing. And somebody asked, what conversation would we like to be having? And that's sort of been this question ever since. It's like, what conversation would you like to be having? Do you want to talk about your problems? Do you want to talk about how limited you are? Do you want to talk about how fucked up you are? Or do you want to talk about what's going to create the most today, right now? Pretend that you don't have any problems right now. What's going to create the most? What could you contribute to you and to the world and to the kingdom of we that would create so much possibility and change, even if it's just one person who hears you or who engages in that conversation with you? Are you willing to bring what you know to the world in such a way that, you might just change your own life, which is a pretty cool thing, I may add. Eleanor, yeah. What creates the most for me? The universe, the animals, and the people, and the planet, and the kingdom of we. And yeah. So, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for everything that you choose. And I guarantee you, I promise you, that you are not as fucked up as you think you are. And the other thing I promise is that if you actually just dared to live that point of view, you would also find that you would create godzillions upon godzillions upon godzillions of whatever it is that you're creating and asking to create and beyond. If you got over the point of view that there's anything wrong with you, your creative and generative juices would explode. And so would your business and your money and all that other stuff that really is just a byproduct of what you're choosing to be. So, I adore you guys. Thank you so frickin' much for being part of this conversation and all of the conversations that you're having about more and change and possibility on the planet. It is so required right now. And I hope that you acknowledge that not a single moment or choice or word of any of that goes like unnoticed by the universe, or like, just please know that every thought that you don't have, every choice that you make, every question that you ask is a massive contribution beyond what you could ever know. And when you start to be willing to acknowledge that, everything will change. So thank you guys. I adore you. I'm so grateful for you. And I hope you have a lot of fun with this. Okay. I'll see you soon. Bye. Mwah.